EA Sports. It's in the game.
Welcome to F1 World, a journey through the sport that'll offer you events based around casual or competitive play, single player or multiplayer, fun versus realism. As you play, you'll earn upgrades that can be equipped to your car and team. Along the way, you'll build up your compendium. So when you're ready, jump into the play screen and take your first steps into F1 World.
First things first, let's create your driver. First things first, let's create your driver. Great, that's everything we need. Welcome to your workstation. Everything should be set up and ready to go. I'm Ben. Anything R&D, I'm the person to talk to.
Hello and welcome back finally to the hustle and bustle of Formula One. The F1 2023 World Championship is about to get underway. We cannot wait to get started. Last season saw the biggest raft of regulation changes in years, and we're excited to see more of that wheel-to-wheel racing. The big question is though, can anyone challenge the dominance of Max Verstappen and Red Bull? Well, all the teams have been working so hard to get ahead in the development race, looking not only at their own car, but those of their competitors. Thousands of engineers working hard back at the factory. We come to the racetrack and we focus on the 20 drivers at the pinnacle of motorsport. But it's important to remember this is very much a team game, and watching that technical battle unfold as everyone looks to get to grips with these new regulations. Meanwhile, the F1 World Tour features all the classic highlights. Monaco, Silverstone, Singapore. Great to see all those iconic tracks back, but also a few surprises. Qatar is back after a year away, and the inaugural Las Vegas Grand Prix. The glitz and glamour of Vegas, flat out down the world-famous strip. I know all the drivers have been so excited about this one ever since it was announced. Okay, that is enough from me. Let's get cracking with the action.
Okay mate, we've done millions of miles in the simulator pre-season, but this is where we get the real data from the real car on the real racetrack. So as many miles as you can get done consistently over these sessions, the happier we're going to be. trouble out there, mate. Don't be afraid to come in and tweak the setup if you need to, and we can chuck on a fresh set of tyres if the tyres are getting warm.
The session has drawn to a close, so let's review our top three. Verstappen, Russell and Charles Leclerc. And that's it, practice is officially over. No more testing, no more practice. This is the real deal, and it's make or break here at round one of this year's Formula One World Championship. Formula One returns to the desert today on this exceptional 3.36-mile circuit. 15 corners provide plenty of overtaking opportunities, and it could be a strategic race, this one, with Sakir notorious for eating up the rear tyres. Watch out for drivers managing their rubber at some point during the Grand Prix. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position. And the smooth operator Carlos Sainz completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Leclerc, Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Verstappen, Norris, Bottas, Tsunoda, Joe, Albon, Stroll, Gasly, Oscar Piastri, Sargent, Ricciardo, Hülkenberg, Magnussen. And now it's time to head down to the track. A new season then, a clean slate where anything could happen. Anthony Davidson is with me today as once again we get another year of Formula One underway.
We're into those tense few minutes before the first race then. Everyone's a little bit nervous about reliability. They haven't been running in the hot, turbulent wake of other cars in practice, and they've not been pushing at 100% for long durations. Let's hope no one has to deal with any nasty surprises.
Okay, this starting position is not representative of your talent. We can do a lot better than this. Come on, mate. lap of the race so far. Let's go, final lap. half. Superb driving. That is the race win, my friend. Well done.
So as they climb out of the car, the Red Bull team are ready and waiting to celebrate a thoroughly deserved win. Well, Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today, but what set them apart from the rest?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win. Let's have a quick look at how the driver's standings have changed. And after a thrilling race, we see a new name heading up the championship standings. Some amazing talent out on the track today. But Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day? Let's move on to the constructors. And Red Bull take over as championship leader.
You handled that well. Thank you. Practice sessions are vital for the continuing development of the car, but if you need to, you can use the quick practice to direct the session instead. It won't be as effective as having you behind the wheel yourself, but it's better than missing the session entirely.
Welcome to one of the fastest races in the entire calendar, and while it's one of the newer races on the F1 World Tour, it's already staked its reputation as a fan favourite. It's Jeddah, and it's the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So let's take a look at the topographical map of the Jeddah street circuit. As you can see, a number of challenging corners for the drivers to master here. We'll see just how much the teams have benefited from their time spent in practice this weekend. And like many street circuits, this track has the potential to punish drivers that get it wrong. Let's hope we avoid any safety cars today. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. What a qualifying yesterday for George Russell. He'll start today's race from pole position. And Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Sainz, Norris, Verstappen, Leclerc, and...
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the rundown into turn one, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It will keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
After the points finished last race, let's aim to keep that momentum going. Okay, the start was fine. Let's try and move forward. Nice move, keep going. DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone. Nice work, mate. That brings you up a place. Proud of you, man. That was a good job. You did really well out there. Superb driving.
And that brings the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix to a close as we reflect on the team's impressive performance today. And talk to me. What do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, so let's review the drivers' standings. Another solid result for our championship leader today, allowing them to extend the gap between themselves .
You handled that well. Thank you.
This circuit missed a few years off the F1 calendar, and we missed Albert Park. So welcome back, and it's great to be back in Melbourne. Welcome to the Australian Grand Prix. The Melbourne circuit is certainly one that needs to be taken seriously. It's a combination of slippery surfaces and difficult corners, making it a very tricky track when it comes to overtaking. Drivers find it hard to pass and will need to take full advantage of those DRS zones if they want to have any hope of breaking through. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. What a qualifying yesterday for George Russell. He'll start today's race from pole position. And it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Verstappen, Oscar Piastri, Fernando Alonso, Hamilton, Bottas, Joe, Sainz, Albon, Gasly, Hulkenberg, Ocon, Norris, Tsunoda, Stroll, Ricciardo, Magnussen, Sargent. With preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. Natalie Pinkham joins me once again in the commentary box. It's fantastic to have you with us today. I'm curious though, how do you think the drivers stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, the regulations aren't new anymore, but the teams and the drivers are still coming to terms with them. I firmly believe it's also track specific. We've seen some wheel-to-wheel racing throughout the year. Some tracks lend themselves better to it than others. I'd like to see it at every race in the whole season. Is that too much to ask?
Okay, we've got that relief of having points on the board finally, so let's keep that form up and get another top 10 finish today, please. That move was illegal, I'm afraid, mate. Return the position, give it back. Okay, mate, race control, I'm afraid, are not happy with your creative interpretation of track limits. They've given you a 3-second penalty. Nice move, good job. That's a new fastest lap of the race. fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. Well done. Top job, mate. Top job. Yes! I was a bit worried about this one at the start of the weekend, but man, you pulled through. Thank you. Well done.
A great race then, and a fantastic victory here at Albert Park. So, Natalie, what do you think helped them deliver this result?
I feel consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
We can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take the top spot. A well-earned victory for Mercedes. Despite the best efforts of our championship leader, that lead has taken a bit of a knock today. So let's review the updated driver standings. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Natalie Pinkham, come on, who do you pick?
Well, there's no question in my mind. It has to.
You handled that well. Thank you.
So it's all about speed in today's sprint. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. Max Verstappen put in a... And now, can I get your take?
Okay, mate, that was an illegal manoeuvre. You've got to cede that position or we'll receive a penalty. Okay, mate, race control, I'm afraid are not happy with your creative interpretation of track limits. They've given you a 3-second penalty. Okay, this is Mark. I need you to stop cutting the corners. If you keep it up, the stewards are going to give you a penalty. DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone. right, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Let's have a look then at the drivers' standings. George Russell takes the lead in the Drivers' Championship after today's superb result. With the sprint wrapped up, we now have our grid line up for the big race tomorrow. Be sure to join us then. And a warm welcome to you from Azadlik Square, heart of Baku and home, of course, to the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. With high speeds, tight corners and few runoff zones, many are expecting a safety car here today. So our drivers will have to stay very much on their toes and hopefully out of the barriers. It's 3.7 miles around a lap of Baku's city circuit, 7 rights and 13 lefts, giving us a total of 20 corners. Watch out for a safety car today. Incidents are already common on this circuit and the wet conditions will only make things worse, particularly through the incredibly narrow turn 8. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, just ahead of George Russell, who starts this event from P2. Well,
it is a touch damp, isn't it? Well, as a driver, there are 3 big things to worry about when racing in these kind of conditions: standing water, tyre temperature and visibility. And judging distance to the cars around you is really tricky when you're driving through the vast amounts of spray that these wet weather Pirelli tyres kick up.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.